guys, today I have a favorites video, and I haven't done a favorites video. I want to say it's been a while since I've done a favorites video, only because it takes me a while to really warm up to products. Although I enjoy a lot of the stuff, not everything, but I enjoy a lot of the stuff that I do use. For me to say that it's a favorite and a must-have for me, it takes months, and especially when it's skincare, it could take longer than that. So but now I've gathered up enough products for me to say that I really enjoy them. So I'm gonna get started. And the first item that I want to mention is this NYX Highlight and Contour Palette. I purchased this at the beginning, well, it was in December. It was a Christmas gift for my husband, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken. It was part of that Christmas haul. And I've been using this consistently, and when I enjoy a product, when I'm reaching for it a lot, I know I really enjoy this product because I've been putting it in my weekly makeup bag. I try not to put it all the time, but I really enjoy it. And I reach for this palette more often than some of my other bronzers. And I have quite a few bronzers, and some of them are also high-end. So that says a lot to me. I'm not a fan of the entire palette. Like, I can't say that all of these pans are my favorites because they're not. Mainly, it's all of the bronzers up here. I think they're really well made. I love them. They're really good. That you have a really dark bronzer. These two right here are perfect for contouring, which I really enjoy. This is the bronzer. This is the one I don't reach for as much. It's the darkest shade. And I just love them. They're really, really great. Now, I'm a bronzer girl. You know, some girls are really into blushes, some girls are really into highlight. I started off with bronzer before I started off with blush. I mean, I used blush before that because my sister had a blush and I used to kind of, you know, steal it from her and stuff. But I was more of a bronzer wearer than a blush wearer, if that makes sense. These bronzers right here is what I really love about this palette. This is a really great all over bronzer. These two right here, whether used on their own or mixed in together, most of the times I try to mix them together for a little bit of contouring, just to add a little depth to the back of the hollows of my cheeks, or to contour the sides of my nose. This is really great. Add a little bit underneath your lip or even underneath your jawline. Really great. This one I do use, I just don't use quite as often because it is really, really dark, as you can see. And that's that one up here. So it's still pretty dark even for me. Now, these other shades right here, I can definitely do without, to be quite honest with you. I like them. They're just not my ultimate favorite. They are not the reason why I reach for this palette. It's mainly these up here. Squeezy the hair. I'm letting it air dry, so the hair's wanting to do what it's wanting to do. Like, I have a natural wave going on once my hair starts getting longer. But anyways, I wanted to mention this palette because I know there's a lot of mixed reviews on this palette. I think it's just up to you and what you prefer, but I think they blend out really nicely. I don't have a problem with them. I've never had like patchiness. They last on my face for a really decent time, so I really, really enjoy them, and I wanted to mention it. And then quickly, I do want to say this little yellow powder, I think it's called Creme. Yeah, it's called Creme. I like this powder right here. This is not part of my favorites, but I want to mention it because for some reason you don't like this one, because I feel like this one right here, this is the banana powder from the NYX HD finishing powder. This one, I feel like it's softer, it's more finely milled than this one right here in the palette. So just kind of a substitution, if in case you were looking for one. And then the next favorite is the Sonia Kashuk Nail Polish, and this one is called Sweet Cheeks. And if you follow me on Instagram, that you know, I think have I posted 2 pictures of this polish on my Instagram? Probably. I love it. Now, I know I didn't do a nail polish out the door last month. I will be doing that for this month. I'm already gathering up all of my nail polish pics, so that I can have a video sometime next week. This will be in that video because I do have a swatch of it. It's really, really beautiful. It's a really nice kind of like a blush tone pink, leaning a little bit on the lilac side. It's a cream finish. I only need 2 coats. The formula is really good. Doesn't take forever to dry. I mean, what more can I ask for it? And I am not really big on pink nail polishes. Like, I think that's what I have the least of in my nail polish stash, but I just love this color. It's really pretty, and it really complements my skin tone. I'm pretty tan skin, and sometimes some of the pinks just doesn't it just doesn't look quite as good. But this polish, I love. Like, I really like it. And then lastly, no, not lastly, these are not the last products. This is the Tarte Maricuja Oil. I purchased this, I want to say, a couple of months ago, so I've been using it for probably well over a month and a half. I'm halfway through this bottle. This little bottle right here is $15, and I'm pretty sure, how much do you get? Half an ounce, but a little bit goes a long way. And trust me when I say I use it every single night. Like, every single night you need maybe 5 to 6 drops or something like that. It does come with a little button right here, so you can push it, and then it has a little dropper right there. Really great. The only difference that I've noticed in my skin is how soft it feels when I wake up in the morning. I feel like it adds just the right amount of moisture. It doesn't sit on top of my skin. It does take a little extra for it to absorb into the skin, but I don't personally mind that, because once it's absorbed, my skin feels really, really good. And I also put it underneath my eyes as well, and I really, really enjoy it. I am planning on purchasing the larger size because I am a fan of this oil. I used to use the coconut oil a really long time ago, and I used it for a long time, but I stopped using it because I noticed that, I don't know if my skin just became very sensitive to that oil, but I started breaking out, and I no longer use it on my face. I only use it on my body. And then the next oil that I have here, this is the S&W Basics, and this one I purchased at Target. By the way, this one I purchased at ULTA. But this one right here I purchased at Target because I was looking for a serum. And then I came across this one. And I don't normally explore this particular line that's at Target, but this just seemed really interesting to me. It's an oil serum. Quite frankly, it's just an oil. It has a mixture of oils. It has avocado oil, geranium oil, turmeric oil, and coffee oil, which all sound really, really good. And then when I read the ingredients, it's pretty much, the list is pretty short. I don't know why I'm trying to show you because I don't think you can see it. The list is pretty short. That tells me a lot. Like, that means that it's probably as pure as it can get, especially when you're getting skincare and stuff like that. So I was really a fan of it. But although you can use it as a serum, so you know, over top of your toner, and then put your moisturizer over top of it, I find that sometimes you can even leave it. I think it tells you can use it as a moisturizer as well. And sometimes, depending on the weather and how, you know, what's going on outside, I can probably only use this as a moisturizer, which is kind of like, you know, dual purposes, which is really great. I really like that. It smells really nice. Again, it comes with a little dropper, which I'm a fan of. And you only need maybe, I don't know, I think I use like 5 to 6 drops, and I use it morning and night. But when I'm using it in the morning, I have to put sunscreen over top because this is an oil, and I don't want to go out and my skin, I have, you know, sensitive skin to where it gets pigmented. Like, I get hyperpigmentation very easily, so I have to be very careful. So I do apply a sunscreen over top of it. But this is really nice. It absorbs into the skin, I feel like, a lot faster than this one, and it just leaves my skin feeling really soft and silky, and I'm really a fan of that. And then lastly, I have this La Roche body sunscreen. This is an SPF 60. I purchased this because I went to my dermatologist when I went for my alopecia, and I was telling him, like, look, I wear sunscreen every day, like every day without a doubt. And I've been wearing sunscreen every day without a doubt since my late teens, without fail, guys. And still I have a lot of hyperpigmentation. Now, I have freckled skin, and I get that from my dad, and then the hyperpigmentation, I get it from my mom. My mom has hyperpigmentation as well. And I told him, look, like, what's going on? Like, I wear really good sunscreen. The one that I have been using regularly is the Neutrogena Clear Face Breakout Free. This is an SPF 55, which is also really good. He recommended this to me. And although with this, I think it's going to take some time for me to really notice a significant difference, I can tell you I prefer the consistency of this sunscreen more than this one. This one, although it is on the liquidy side, I feel like this one's more runny, and it feels silky once it's absorbed into the skin. It doesn't leave a white cast on my face. It blends in really easily, and it just feels like silk. Like, my skin feels like silk, and I'm a huge fan of it. Now, this is not a very inexpensive bronzer. The dermatologist, he told me that only use it, all of this is made for the body. He told me only use it on your face and your neck. That's it, because this is $35. and I only use it for my face and my neck. I don't use it for anything else. I've really been loving it, and I can't wait to see what's going to be happening with my skin and my hyperpigmentation and stuff like that. So I wanted to mention it because this is a really great product. I even mentioned it to my sister because my niece gets like white spots and stuff, especially when the sun is scorching and stuff like that. She has really sensitive skin, so I mentioned it to her immediately so that she could get it for her. So and then lastly, two more items. These two items, I told you guys I don't have very much products, but I want to make sure that I give you guys enough information about the products, if you know what I mean. I have two brushes here. I want to talk about this one first because I'm super in love with this brush. This is the e.l.f. complexion brush. Now, I have been loving this brush for my bronzer. That's what I use today, and I love this brush. I used to own multiple of these. I want to say a few years ago, a couple years ago. It's been a little while now, and I got rid of them because I was not a fan. Sometime earlier this year, I want to say a few months ago, I picked this one up. And I was like, God, this would look like, I look for brushes like these for bronzer because I really like them. Not so much for powder. I'm pretty sure you can use it for that. But when I used it for my bronzer, I fell completely in love. And the reason why I like it, I don't know if you guys can see how it goes out and then it kind of tapers over here and it kind of rounds out. This little area right here, just, I feel like it sits so nicely here for me, for my face, and that is why I love it. It blends out the product so nicely, and it's soft. It's not pokey, it's not prickly. This is e.l.f. I mean, and it's just, this particular brush is made really well. The disappointing thing about this is that I've gone to multiple Walmarts, multiple Targets. They don't make all of these brushes the same. The ones that I have been seeing, they look a little bit thinner, like a little bit more narrow, and they're not as fluffy as this one. Like, they come in tapered a little bit closer in. And I'm so sad about that because legit, every time I go to Target and Walmart, I'm looking for this brush, and I'm looking at the brush and I'm like, it doesn't look the same. That's what made me sad about it, because I wish I could own like 5 of these. It's so great, it's so inexpensive. It's a $3 brush, and I'm a huge fan of it. Highly recommend it if you're looking for a bronzer brush. I just love it so much. And then lastly, this brush right here. This I purchased, I want to say maybe over a month ago, if so, yeah. And I've actually, normally I use brushes like these big ones for my powder. This is a Real Techniques one, which is a ginormous brush, and I love it. And this is in IT Cosmetics, like super ginormous. I actually don't, I like this one's just too massive almost. So it's not my ultimate favorite, or something like this for powder. This brush right here I've been using for my powder, and I don't normally use a stipple brush for my powder products to set my foundation, but this I love it. And just for reference, I want to mention the Sigma one just so that you guys can see the size of this. This is a lot more, it has more bristles, it's a lot more spread out, and it's just really good. So pretend this is the lid of my powder brush, like loose powder or even a pan. I'll just go in, brush it in, and then just start applying it. And I just feel like it doesn't overly apply my powder on my face, and it just blends it out really nicely. This is called the Airbrush Blurring Powder, the number 126, and I just love it. I mean, I love it so much. I want to actually purchase another one of these because I'm a huge fan of it. And the IT brushes for ULTA, FYI, are a little bit cheaper than the actual IT brushes. I think those are the ones with the black handles. I don't own any of those. They're really, really expensive. But these are a little bit more affordable if for some reason you were curious about that. That is everything. Oh no, one more brush, sorry. This brush, oh my gosh, I had it out here because I wanted to share it with you guys. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills number 12 brush. This is a brow, like for the pomade brush. And before it took me forever to actually get on this brush because it's an angled brush. And I was like, how special can it be? I have a Too Faced brush that came with my Bulletproof Brows. I don't like that brush. It's not my favorite. It's okay, but it's not my favorite. And then I have a few other angled brushes, and none of them I just didn't enjoy any of them quite as much. And then when I got this brush, oh my gosh, I can see why people are huge fans of it. I don't know what the heck she does with this brush, because it's an angled brush. It clearly looks just like an angled brush, but it's not too stiff, and it's not to the bristle, not too loose. It just applies the right amount of, excuse me, my foot's falling asleep. It applies the right amount of pomade, and I'm a huge fan of this brush. Highly recommend it. It is a little bit on the pricier side, but for me, I think it's well worth the price. This is really great. And then it comes with a spoolie, which is fine. I mean, it's just, to me, it's just a spoolie. It's this little angle part that I'm a fan of. So that's everything. I'm like at 17 minutes. My goodness, I can never make a short video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.